How's it going, everyone? Hope you're all keeping well, and welcome to the finale of the RTA Formula V Championship here for round 8 at Tsukuba, our one and only race this season, not in the United Kingdom, heading to Japan for this one. But if you missed round 7 at Snetterton, I think that video should have came out a day or two ago. Trying to get these out now after not being able to do them for some personal reasons, but it is what it is, so make sure you check that one out before we get into this one. But looking at the standings after 7 rounds, it is Dylan McClemens with a sizable lead over Conor Melia at the top of the standings. And don't think Dylan has to do a whole lot here today to take the championship. For myself, 13th place. Think the best I could probably hope for is maybe sneaking into the top 12, top 11 at a stretch if some things go my way and don't go right for other people, but can't really rely on that. Just have to do the best I can, and that starts with qualifying. So jumping straight into my best lap in this qualifying session, because even for a short track, which you don't really think about having much straights, slipstream was very important here in qualifying at Tsukuba, and most of the session was just sitting in a train and hoping you get the lap together then. So heading into turn 1, braking, getting nice and close to the curb on the inside and using all the track on the exit. You can see I'm 7th in a train of cars here, so getting a nice toe. Heading into what I'm going to call turn 2, because it's the second real corner on the track, down into, or actually staying in third gear. Someone run off the track there. Staying in third gear through there, and then really abusing the curb through turn 3, using all the track on the exit. Probably a bit too much there, getting onto the grass, but didn't get an invalidation, and we keep going. Into the last braking zone of the track then, again staying in third gear, because shifting from second up to third here, I found I was losing too much speed, so decided to just stay in third there. Up to fourth then, as we head into the final corner, turning in, no braking here, just lifting off the throttle and then getting on it as early as you dare once again, using all the curb on the exit, and come across the line to set a 1 minute 5.16, and didn't have any more time in that qualifying session. Set my best lap on the last lap, which I don't think I've done throughout this season, so nice to get together there at the end. Puts me in 8th place. Dylan McClemens on pole position, championship leader, and looks like he's going to be the champion, just ahead of Jordan Kelly, less than half a tenth between them, and then championship challenger, the only person that can beat Dylan, Conor Melia, in 3rd place. But very close qualifying session, half a tenth either way for a lot of drivers. Would have been 2, maybe 3 positions, maybe more. So hopefully that has something to say about the racing, and it's going to be an enjoyable couple of races here to round out the season. From 8th place then on the grid for race 1, the inside line, probably where you want to be in all honesty. The lights go green and we get a pretty good start. Doesn't look like we're going to make any places up following Travis into turn 1. Like I said, the inside line, just trying to keep it nice and tight, trying to fend from any cars behind. On the exit we get a really good run. It looked like there was contact there between Peter McCann and Travis, but actually looked at the replay and that was just desync on my end. There wasn't actually any contact between the two of them, I don't think, which is what you want to see really. Skipping ahead then on to the same part of the track on lap 2, not much else happened on lap 1. Just trying to follow through at the moment, settling into the race. But through turn 2, Peter going a little bit wide. We get side by side into turn 3. Not really a whole lot there can do on the outside line. Didn't want to commit to that at this stage of the race. A bit too early to be going for moves like that. But heading into turn 4 then, or 5. I don't know what the corner numbers are. There's some corners here that count as corners that aren't really corners, so I'm going to call that turn 4. Don't know if it's right or not. Probably isn't, but it is what it is. Either way, we went a bit wide fighting with Peter and allowed Kevin Joyce to get a move down the inside and get ahead of us, heading down into the final corner. As we're coming under a bit of pressure from Dermot Toomey behind as well. He got very close in that final turn, but wasn't able to make a move. Heading into turn 1, they'd have a little bit of a look on Kevin, make a bit of contact with his rear right tyre, and just he was taking a tighter line there, just trying to cover off the move for me, and I wasn't able to get it stopped in time to not make that contact. Luckily, Kevin kept it
Clear on the
and
left.
was able to stay in this race. On the exit of turn 1, I was meant we came under. I didn't want to get an overtake by making contact. Meant we came under a lot of pressure from a few other cars and allowed Dermot Toomey to get past me as well. On to the end of lap 3 then. We get a good exit out of the final corner on Dermot. We have a look around the outside of turn 1, try and brake late and hold it, because I knew that if I got an overlap here, we'd have the inside for the next hairpin, which we just about managed to do. On the exit we get a good run and into the hairpin then of turn, what I'm calling 2. We have the inside line. The shorter distance, and we managed to get Dermot, as does Sean McGoldrick. They're side by side now heading into turn 3. Dermot does manage to hold that, and all I really cared about there was me getting the move done, which I managed to do. Skip ahead to lap 6 then, and Sean McClemens is after going for a spin in the turn 2 hairpin, so we get a position on him there. We do lose a little bit of ground to Kevin Joyce in that sequence, and coming under pressure from Dermot now, because I wasn't sure where Sean was going to rejoin. He kind of came back onto the track, not really on the racing line, but if I had been a little bit wide, probably would have made contact, as behind Dermot is after having an issue. See here at the hairpin, at that corner, I was going wide, I was drifting wide, so I decided to downshift into second gear. That obviously made me get a worse exit. Dermot wasn't expecting that, and he made contact with my rear and swung around, so not much I could have done about that, I don't think. Just an unfortunate incident there. As now we skip ahead on to lap 8. Cut back up to Kevin and Peter, as the three of us are having a nice battle here now for a P6. On the exit of the final corner we get a good run. There's not really a whole lot you can do here. We have a run on Kevin, but he has a run on Peter as well. He covers the inside, so I decided to try and have a go around the outside. Knew it wasn't really going to work, but using that as an opportunity to try and get a better run onto the pitch straight and maybe have a move into the first corner. I looked to the right hand side there, but Kevin, a very smart racer, covered that early, and I knew there wasn't going to be an opportunity on this occasion, so slot back in behind and bide my time, try and get it on another occasion. Into the second to last corner then, looked around the outside once again, just trying to hope to get a good exit, which we do. You can see how much time or distance I lost heading into that corner. We gain up all back on the exit, getting on the power earlier than Kevin was able to. Again, into the final corner, having a look around the outside. This time I tried to commit a bit more, but not able to do it, and once again trying to get a good exit as we start the final lap of this first race. A very enjoyable race, I have to say, one of the best I've had this season. Kevin defends to the inside line, just like I did with Dermot earlier in the race. Tried to hold it around the outside to get that overlap, but wasn't able to on this occasion. Just drifted a bit too far wide, so Kevin was able to slip back in front. Into the second hairpin then, Kevin defended once again. I was on the outside, so wasn't going to be able to do a whole lot either way, and now I'm just staying behind, trying to stay close and hoping I can get a good run out of this final hairpin to have a run into the final corner. So spot my braking point, taking a bit of a wider line to Kevin, but I just don't get the turn in the way I would have liked, like I did on the last few laps. So just a bit too far back, still in the slipstream, but not close enough to get alongside into the final corner on this occasion. So just going to take it nice and easy, secure this P8. Someone off the track up ahead, so we gained one position. Kevin goes for a move on Peter. Peter has a big moment coming up to the line. We just miss out on getting past Peter. Kevin gets past him, and we finish the first race here in Tsukuba in P7. So very good result there, some great racing. As you saw, it's always good when you have some nice clean close battles like that, especially at a track like this. It's hard to overtake, but if you're able to get an overtake done, it's definitely very rewarding. Jordan Kelly taking the win from second place, Dylan from pole down into second, and I think that all but secures Dylan's championship there. Conor Mealy in third place rounded out the podium. So very good race in race 1. Hope we can carry that momentum into the second race here. Getting ready to go then for the second race here in Tsukuba. Going to be on the outside of the first turn in this one, starting from 7th place. And as the lights go green, we get a good start, as does Peter. The two of us getting past Kevin, who seemed to have bogged down a bit there, heading into turn one, then turning in early as I felt I could to try and cut off Kevin, but just carried a bit too much speed, drifted a bit wide. You can see there, not too happy with myself, so let Kevin get the switch back and claim that place back once again. So should have been one place up here already, unfortunately we're not, and remain in P7. Skipping ahead then on to lap 4, and we've stayed in that position, but there's a big incident up ahead into the second hairpin, and I'm not sure what happened, but we find ourselves in 4th place now. I want to have a quick look at our replay on board with Dylan McClemens. Jordan Kelly up ahead, and you can see there he just loses the back end, and not much Dylan could have done with there, or done to avoid that there, and then just some others getting unfortunately caught up with that, not able to avoid it as well as some of us have been able to. So stroke of luck there in this second race, and now we're well within the fight for a podium here in Tsukuba. Into the second to last corner, we go down the inside of Kevin, who is going a little bit wide, but the wider line does mean he gets a better exit, more speed, and he gets the slipstream off of Peter, and we have to slot back in behind him there just to try and prepare for an attack later on in this race, and to defend from Campbell, who out of the last corner gets a really good run, and he's alongside before I'm able to pull to the inside and try and defend that one. So into the first corner, taking a wider line, Campbell gets down the inside and moves up into 4th. Down into 5th now, and not too upset with that in all honesty, still well within the fight for the podium, and we're able to stay with the group ahead all the way on to lap 11 now, just a couple of laps left. Into the second hairpin, have a look around the outside of Campbell. Just not able to get it done yet, but we get a good exit. We're side by side, or alongside into this right-hander, what I'm calling turn 3, but Campbell able to take more speed around the outside and hold on to that one, as we now have a 6-car train for race win and for the podiums, with Darragh O'Connor right behind me. So any move that I'm trying to go for, have to make sure I get it done, or at least be able to hold my position from Darragh. Out of the final corner then, we don't get the best run. Darragh gets a pretty good one, but this time we're able to pull to the right hand side, take the inside line for turn 1 and hold on to that one. Take a bit too much curve through the first corner, which means I don't get the greatest exit, and Darragh's right up behind me once again. So going defensive into turn 2, but looking in the mirror, it didn't look like Darragh was going to go for that one, so live to fight another day in P5. As now we skip on to lap 14, the final lap in this one. They're 2 by 2 up ahead. I think Peter just overtook Connor for the lead of this race, and the way things are shaping up, it doesn't seem like I'm going to be able to gain any more positions in this one unless somebody has a bit of a slide trying to battle or something like that. So just happy enough with sticking where I am and taking advantage of anything that happens. Then I'm not close enough to try and force a move, so just have to take an opportunity if it presents itself. Into the final corner then, taking a wider line just to try and set up a good exit in case somebody has a bit of a poor one, but they don't, unfortunately for me. And now we're going to jump ahead to second place. Conor Melia very close to hitting the back of Peter there. He wanted to slot in to the inside line, but nearly got all sorts of wrong as we jump back on board with Conor. Then he slotted into second place into the final corner and out of the final corner across the line. He wasn't able to get Peter, so Peter winning the race there from 6th place, so great job by him there. As we saw Conor in 2nd and Kevin Joyce getting a very good result there in 3rd, Campbell in 4th and myself in 5th, with Darragh O'Connor just behind me. So very fun race to drive in. Probably wouldn't have been the best to look at because not a whole lot happened, but sometimes they're the best ones to be in the car for, and hopefully now have more to say for the final race of the season. And for the final time in this season of RTA, from 4th place on the grid, the lights go green and we get a pretty good start. Dave Collier on pole, someone I know I had better starts than this season, and heading into turn 1 here I was looking to maybe get 1 or 2 places, but through turn 1 Ross Wheatley, who took the lead, goes a bit wide. We get underneath him and heading out of turn 1 into the second hairpin, we take the lead for the first time since the opening round in Silverstone, and really wasn't expecting that. I was happy enough with getting 1 or 2 places, like I said, but getting up into the lead is definitely more than happy with that. But I know it's going to be tricky to try and hold on to this one. Campto now in second place. I was kind of hoping Ross or Dave would be able to keep a bit of a buffer for a little bit longer until all the fast lads catch back up and heading into the final corner. Campto, very smart racer, decides not to go for the move there. He's happy enough with staying behind for the time being, but I don't think he's going to want to stay behind me for very long.
Right side.
As I said, heading into turn 1 at the start of the next lap. Goes down the inside.
Clear on the right.
Not going to try and fight that around the outside. I was okay with trying to slap back in behind and cover from Ross behind. I saw that he was trying to go for a little bit of a move there in the mirror, so glad to just retain second place for now and try and maybe work with Campto to pull away from the group behind, and then come the last couple of laps of the race maybe we could have a two-way fight for the lead. Heading into the second last corner there, then I had a bit of a run, then drifted a bit wide, but I wasn't going to go for a move on that occasion anyway. Like I said, I was going to try and work with Campto to pull away from the cars behind and at least try and guarantee a podium for the two of us. But on the start of lap 5, Campto doesn't get a great run and kind of forced to try and go for a move there. Brake early, slap back in behind once again, happy enough with staying in second place and staying ahead of Ross. On to lap 6 then, heading into the final corner, still with Campto, and again, not going for a move there. Could have showed my nose into the final turn, but just sticking behind and heading into turn 1 again. Decide not to stay behind this time, go for a move down the inside. I knock up a bit, go a bit too deep, and that means Campto is able to hold it around the outside. Turns to the inside line for the next hairpin, and once again happy enough with slapping back in between him and Conor, who's made his way up into third place. And yeah, it's not someone you really want to see in your rear view mirror. Conor obviously second in the championship, one of the fastest in these cars in RTA. And heading into the final turn of the 7th lap, Conor has the overlap, has the inside line, and gets up into second place. He doesn't carry a lot of speed with that tighter line through the final corner, but I didn't really have the space to carry the momentum. And into the first corner again, happy enough with staying behind for now. Goes a bit deep, have the inside line, but have we seen time and time again throughout these races, the outside line here in a lot of corners means you do carry more speed on the exit, and he holds on to P2. Jumping on board with Jordan Kelly here now out of the final corner, and you can see how much more speed he's able to carry than me. Granted, I dip a wheel on the grass there, but the final corner is definitely my Achilles heel around here. It's into turn 1, Jordan goes down the inside, Conor, I think he blocked the brakes or something by the look of it, goes wide, so we gain one position on Conor there, lose one to Jordan. And yeah, like I was saying, the final corner here really just wasn't able to get it consistently right, and when I did get it right, I was getting good exits, able to challenge into turn 1, but when I was getting it wrong, it wasn't like I was getting a little bit wrong. I was coming under all sorts of pressure from the cars behind and getting passed into turn 1, so seems like these high speed corners are definitely something that I need to work on heading into next season, which will again be in the Formula V cars. Heading back to the end of this season in this race, getting very close with Jordan just about managing to get past Campto. I think he's going to get it done on the exit here, and I was almost challenging Campto as well when he was trying to defend from Jordan. And now we have Dara Halley going for a move around the outside of the second hairpin, and he managed to get an overlap, so he has the inside for this right-hander then, and we managed to hold it side by side still, have the inside for this flat out left-hander, and into the second last corner. Dara does have the inside line, he just had a wheel alongside I think, so had to leave the room, and he managed to get that move done. That's something else I definitely need to work on. There was a few occasions where other people were able to hold it around the outside on me, and when I was going for those moves on other people, I wasn't able to get that overlap to try and get a move into the next corner. So don't really know what it is I need to work on for there, but definitely something to look at as we're still side by side with Dara heading into
Clear on the
the
right.
first corner. We brake nice and late, still managed to get it stopped,
right.
keep it as tight as I was able to, carrying
Clear.
that speed, and we managed to hold on to the place, or get that place back up onto the podium in P3. And all this battling has allowed Camto and Jordan to get a bit of a gap,
Clear.
so really just wanted to try and get a few clean laps to maybe catch up to them, but Dara is definitely on to try and get past me so he can do the same himself. Down the inside of the second to last corner, Connor dives it down trying to follow him, but we just managed to stay ahead of him on the exit, losing just the one place down into P4. But once again, better exit out of the second to last corner. But I could have went down the inside there, wanted to just stick behind again, try and drive nice and smart. I know Dara is very quick and had confidence that he might be able to catch up to the cars ahead. But down the pit straight into turn one, he defends to the inside, and I tried to cut in behind him to stay right behind him, but we just touch my front right to his rear left and lose a good bit of momentum. Allows Connor to almost get alongside, but once again with the inside line trying to hold it on this second hairpin, and we just managed to do that. But once again, like I was saying, Connor is able to get the exit, have the overlap, have the inside line for this right-hander. We just carry enough momentum around the outside to hold on to the position. Jumping back on board with myself then, luckily managed to get nice and clear into the second to last corner, take our racing line for the first time in I don't know how many laps, and have a little bit of breathing space heading into the second last corner. But with the slipstream we now have Travis right behind, so I think I mentioned that was Dara there a couple of corners ago. It's actually Travis. Dara obviously ahead of us. Travis having a look down the inside of the the final corner, but not able to get it done on this occasion. And then on the next lap I knew that Travis was going to have a look for that inside line once again, so defend it nice and early, take the tighter line. Managed to get still a pretty nice exit, still pulling to the right hand side nice and early to cover the inside line for the first corner. Braking as late as there, keeping it nice and tight. But once again, I think Travis just about able to get an overlap. Once again, turns to the inside line for the second to last corner, and once again, I'm not able to hold him around the outside. I thought Travis was going a bit deep there, so I had to turn out a bit, which definitely killed all chance of trying to keep it around the inside, have it for the inside of that right-hander and hold on to position. So yeah, definitely something I need to work on, as I mentioned. And now it was okay with just trying to slot in behind Travis and see if he can carry us along back up to Darren, Jordan and Campbell. He goes defensive very early there. I just bothered following his slipstream just to show that I was not going to try and go for a move just yet, but if the opportunity presents itself, I think I'll definitely have to go for a move, put a car between myself and Conor Melia, who gets a really nice run around the outside of the last corner, has the outside line for the first corner, and this time he's not able to hold it around the outside and hold on to P5 with the inside line. A lap or a couple of laps later then again out of the final corner, I took too much curb there, which meant I didn't get a good run and didn't defend strongly enough to the inside line. Connor takes that invitation and gets the move done. The both meet down into 6th place, which is still a very good result, but considering I was in the lead of this race at one stage, it's definitely not what I was hoping for at the start of this one. Definitely would have liked a couple of more positions, and maybe on this final lap now we might be able to get a couple of those. Still well within range, as you can see, of Travis and Connor starting this final lap, and into the final, or into the first turn, get very close to hitting the back of Connor there, which meant I had to kind of steer out of it. I was looking to try and follow him around the inside to see if I could get a move on Travis, but wasn't able to. Way into the next hairpin, Travis goes deep, we go for a switchback, but on the exit we just slide out the back end trying to
Now
get
on
our
your left.
throttle,
Right
and we
side.
lose a heap of places, losing another
Clear.
one there to Dave Collier, and I think that's down into P10 now, which is very, very disappointing. Two races, or two of the last three rounds, gone for a switchback now, and it just hasn't worked out. And yeah, you can see just how disappointed I am with that. Just, yeah, I don't even really know what happened. I don't know if I just got on the throttle too early, if I was on the curb when I tried to get on the throttle, but lost the back end, and it means we come across the line to finish the final race of the season in P10. And having started up in P4, leading the race at one stage, it was looking dead on for a P6. To finish down in P10 is very disappointing. Jordan Kelly recovered from P14 to take the win ahead of Campto and Dara. And yeah, even though I say that P10 is a disappointing result, considering how some of the races went in the middle of this season, if I'd got P10 in those races, I would have been delighted. So it shows a good bit of progression and progress towards the end of this season to be disappointed with a P10. And what these results mean for the end of the season standings is that it is Dylan McClemens who took the championship, 56 points ahead of Connor at the end when you consider drop rounds. Travis in third place, and for myself, moving up one spot in the final round up into P12. I know my goal, I think I said after Silverstone, was a top 8. Had to readjust then to a top end around mid season. So didn't reach that target, but P12 showing good progress as I said, coming towards the end of the season. Definitely happy with the season that I had. And even though that is the end of the on track action for this season, I am hoping to make kind of a season review or a year review video in the coming weeks, probably be sometime in January at this stage, just to go over the season, things I need to improve on, would have done differently, things I was happy with, and then also just with this whole YouTube thing, kind of see what my plan is and what I want to do for the next year. But all I can say for now is thank you very much for watching these highlight videos of the season. I get a lot of enjoyment out of making them, and knowing that people are watching them and enjoying them too gives me a great sense of satisfaction, and will definitely be continuing into the next season of the RTA Formula V Scholarship Championship starting in January. But until then, thanks for watching, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and I'll see you then.